I'm remarrying a woman in her 20s. We're getting a divorce."
With a visibly flushed face, the husband shouted, clearly intoxicated. A young woman was supporting him in such a state. From the beginning of their marriage, the husband had a tendency to cheat. Despite promising not to repeat it, during their arguments, he would inevitably stray again once the tension eased. With such repeated incidents, her love for her husband had already faded. But never did she expect him to bring another woman into their home on their 20th wedding anniversary. There I noticed the woman who was my husband's affair partner, and I couldn't help but burst into laughter. Because that woman was... My name is Emily Adams, 43 years old, working as a nurse, leading a busy life. My family consists of my husband Rob, who is 2 years older, and our daughter Sam, who is now a college student. Sam has moved out since starting college and is living alone in an apartment near the university. Although we regularly keep in touch, it seems like she's doing well on her own. While Sam's life seems to be going smoothly, I can't say the same for Rob and me. My husband Rob has a cheerful personality and easily befriends anyone he likes. Although I was attracted to the differences between us, being an introvert, our marriage has been quite challenging. Since we got married, I've been plagued by countless incidents of Rob's infidelity. Yes, Rob had quite a bad habit of being involved with other women. He would approach and charm any attractive woman he came across. Given that he is also a refreshing and handsome guy, women naturally find themselves attracted to him. While being able to get along with anyone may seem like a good thing at first glance, it could also be seen as a potential hazard, like playing with fire. Failing to realize this before marrying Rob was a mistake on my part. Even after marriage, Rob stayed in touch with several female friends. To be honest, it always left me feeling uneasy. I mean, isn't it normal for married people to limit their interactions with friends of the opposite sex? I make an effort not to stay in constant contact with my male friends. However, pointing it out felt embarrassing, as it seemed like I was just being jealous, so I never directly complained to Rob about it. Looking back now, that was a mistake. It all started because Rob's first affair partner barged into our home. She was originally a friend from Rob's high school days and urged me to divorce Rob. "I understand him better. He's more suited for me." There was quite a fuss about this matter, but ultimately when Rob emphatically stated,
"It was just a fling with her,"
his affair partner became infatuated with him. Rob came crawling back to me, apologizing and asking for another chance. Since we had just gotten married and there was still some love for him in my heart, I agreed to try to rebuild our relationship. However, Rob continued to cheat with various women afterward. There were instances where his friendships with female friends developed into affairs, and cases where he got involved with women at clubs or bars. After contemplating divorce during one of his many affairs, I discovered I was pregnant at that very moment. Rob, overjoyed, became devoted and took care of me throughout the pregnancy. During this time, all signs of infidelity disappeared, and I was delighted that Rob seemed genuinely content. Rob was incredibly involved with our newborn daughter, Sam. He willingly took care of feeding, changing diapers, and even rushed to comfort Sam when she cried at night. While I managed the household chores, he looked after Sam and took us to various places for outings. I thought we had finally achieved a happy family, but that belief turned out to be overly optimistic. Around the time Sam entered elementary school, Rob's tendency to cheat resurfaced. I was left speechless. While the frequency had decreased compared to his younger days, the fact that he was still unfaithful remained unchanged. I stopped expecting anything from Rob. His issues weren't limited to a poor track record with relationships. His dedication to work was lacking, often taking unwarranted days off and risking getting fired. No matter how much I tried to address both of these shortcomings, there was no improvement in his lazy habits. Currently, Rob contributes only a small amount to the household through part-time work, and he doesn't contribute financially. Our living expenses and our daughter's tuition have been covered by my income as a nurse. Undoubtedly, I am the one supporting our life, yet Rob shows no gratitude towards me. On the contrary, as time goes by, he has started to utter hurtful words and insults towards me.
Hey, you've aged, haven't you? Take a look in the mirror. You're covered in wrinkles.
How rude. What's gotten into you all of a sudden? I'm already in my 40s. Having a few wrinkles is perfectly normal. You, on the other hand, have aged quite a bit. Maybe pay a bit more attention to your appearance. Just a suggestion.
I'm a guy. It doesn't matter for me. You're a woman. How about a little bit of fashion sense? Always wearing plain clothes. It's disappointing to have such a plain wife.
Rob, dressed in a sloppy manner, says such things without considering his own appearance. Who on earth is he comparing himself to? I thought his tendency to cheat has settled down after turning 40, but that seems to have been a big mistake. Why did I end up marrying a man like him in the first place? It's too late for regrets now, but if I had known, I should have divorced him at the first instance of infidelity. Despite being affectionate towards Sam, I had forgiven his previous affairs, but my love for him had dwindled considerably. Even though Sam grew up under Rob's care, in her early childhood, she seemed to admire him. However, as she entered the upper grades of elementary school, she began to notice Rob's irresponsible behavior and his tendency to cheat. Although she didn't ignore him since he took care of her, it appears that she harbors a significant amount of contempt. Even when living on her own, Sam expressed concern for me. Mom, are you okay being alone with Dad? He doesn't even contribute much financially and still pushes all the household chores onto you. How about living with me instead? Thank you for your concern. I appreciate the sentiment, but let's not go there. Whenever I try to leave, your father makes a fuss about it. You should focus on yourself. Mom, no matter what happens, I'm on your side. If you ever have any problems, don't keep them to yourself. Talk to me. Sam has truly grown into a kind and gentle child. I think the only thing I can be grateful to Rob for is bringing this child into my life. Despite all his other flaws, this fact alone nearly cancels them out. I've been going along with the marriage out of habit, but maybe it's time for a change. If he wants to cheat so badly, he can just get a divorce and do whatever he wants. The tricky part is that he's likely to reject a straightforward proposal for divorce. All the discussions we've had so far have been unsuccessful. In fact, I've suggested divorce to Rob several times, but each time he would cry, resist, and express a desire to rebuild our relationship. Rob's aversion to divorce doesn't stem from any love for me. Rather, it's because he doesn't want to let go of my income. Mr. Lazy Rob wants to somehow maintain his current carefree lifestyle. I wonder if there's any way to go through with the divorce. I found myself pondering these things every day. One day, a significant event occurred. It happened to be our 20th wedding anniversary. Since I didn't want to hear any complaints from Rob, I had made preparations for a celebration. I had prepared a feast and a cake, waiting for his return, but he didn't come home. I wonder which woman he's fooling around with again, I thought, feeling irritated. Around 10 o'clock at night, Rob finally came home. Surprisingly, the drunken Rob was supported by a woman as he returned. His face was quite red, and his breath was unpleasant. It seemed like he had been drinking considerably. I couldn't believe that he had actually been with another woman. I was truly dismayed at what he was doing on our wedding anniversary. But the surprising part didn't end there. Rob surely glared at me and made a declaration.
I'm marrying a beautiful woman in her 20s. I'm divorcing you.
The sudden statement from Rob left me bewildered. While I had wished for a divorce, the abruptness of it all caught me off guard. So I confronted him. Huh? Wait a minute. What's the deal with bringing a woman home out of the blue? Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. I've been fed up with your frumpy and careless attitude for a long time. Goodbye to the dull and tiresome days with you. I'll be happy with her next to me.
Rob's confident words and actions irritated even me. Despite causing me so much trouble, how could he speak so arrogantly? In that moment, I felt a sudden sense of discomfort. The woman beside Rob said nothing. If she was his affair, wouldn't it be normal for her to say something to his wife, me? So I carefully observed the woman he was with. She stared at me with wide eyes, clearly in disbelief. Her complexion was unbelievably pale. As I looked at her face, I couldn't help but exclaim, "You're kidding, right? Wait a minute. This can't be happening." Upon confirming the woman's face, I burst into laughter, holding my stomach. Rob, bewildered, looks at me as I suddenly burst into laughter. It's no wonder I'm laughing, considering that the woman is someone I know well. Calming down from my fit of laughter, I addressed the woman. "I'm sorry for the sudden outburst. Good evening, Lisa. I never expected to meet you here." When I smiled, the woman who was Rob's affair partner grimaced. On the other hand, Rob looked at us with a puzzled expression.
Huh? Emily, you know Lisa?
Yes, we're acquainted. Rob, do you know what kind of person Lisa is?
Of course I know. She's an amazing woman.
According to Rob, Lisa is a wealthy heiress in her 20s. There's even his dream that if they marry, he could become the next CEO. Well, it makes sense that he jumped at those conditions. Thinking normally a young lady in her 20s wouldn't choose someone like Rob as a marriage partner. He seems blinded by money and doesn't seem to understand such things. Nevertheless, I wondered why Lisa wanted to marry Rob. That's what I was wondering. Rob then turned to me with a question.
Where did you meet Lisa? There doesn't seem to be any connection.
Oh, it was a while ago. I can't possibly tell the truth. It involves personal information from work. In reality, the place where I work is a clinic specializing in cosmetic surgery, and Lisa was a regular customer there. Lisa had undergone cosmetic procedures so frequently that her original face had become unrecognizable. Surprisingly, she's not the same age as me. She's not even close. She's 47, 2 years older than Rob, who's 45. I heard her family was quite poor, far from any status like a company president. It seems she made men deceived by her appearance contribute to the cost of her surgeries, luring them with marriage. What she's doing is perilously close to marriage fraud, and she could be sued for it. However, at that time, Lisa showed no sign of stopping and had been sharing the whole story of her past experiences with me, a nurse. Despite patient confidentiality, I was disgusted by Lisa's casual involvement in criminal activities. Lisa is now desperately signaling me to keep quiet with her eyes. Then something suddenly came to mind. I vividly remember that the last time Lisa came to the hospital, she was whispering to me about her next target. "The next target is an elite corporate employee from a well-known company. I met him on a dating app, and though he's married, he'd divorce his wife right away if I desired it. He's a bit older, which I'm not thrilled about, but he seems to have money, so I might consider marrying him." In other words, that target was Rob. It turns out that the patient from my workplace was his cheating partner. The world is small. It is somewhat pathetic that Rob became Lisa's target, but then again, he lied about being an elite employee too, so the feeling is mutual. In reality, Rob is just doing janitorial work for a famous company and is not an employee at all. It's similar to a standoff between a sly raccoon and a clever fox. In a way, they might be well matched for each other. I have no obligation to tell them the truth. Instead, it's a great opportunity to deal with this troublesome situation. I took out a pre-filled divorce form from my bag. It was something I had prepared when Rob cheated before, and I promised to submit it the next time he cheated. I handed the divorce form to Rob. "For the sake of your happiness, I'll gracefully step aside. I've been considering divorce for a while. It's better for both of us." My words made Rob and Lisa's faces light up. Rob leaned forward, confirming my intention for a divorce.
Are you really going to divorce me? Don't go back on it later and say it was a lie.
I won't do something so absurd. I will properly get a divorce. In return, you'll pay the marriage settlement for your affair, right? Rob is thinking that if he marries Lisa, he can become the next president. That's what he believes. And Lisa believing that if she marries him, she'll become the wife of an elite corporate employee. Neither is the other. That is why they readily agreed to the alimony. There was no splitting of shared assets, and they even went so far as to amend the agreement. I submitted the divorce papers to the clerk on the same day, and finally I was able to get a divorce. My marriage of 20 years with Rob ended, of all days on our anniversary. The next day, carrying my belongings, I headed to my daughter's apartment. When I explained the circumstances to Sam, and she warmly welcomed me. I think you've put up with a lot from Dad's wandering eye over the years. From now on, enjoy your second life. For a while, I bunked in Sam's room, and during that time I looked for a studio apartment. A few weeks later, I received an unexpected call from Rob.
Emily, listen. She deceived me. Lisa isn't the president's daughter or in her 20s. She's just a poor old woman. Unbelievable.
Rob spews out a barrage of complaints, but it's none of my business. Frankly, being bothered with irrelevant stories is the last thing on my mind. You can say all you want, but honestly, it's your fault for falling for such lies. I don't have time for your complaints. I'll hang up. I delivered this cold message, but he tried to stop me.
Wait for me. I have a favor to ask.
A favor?
There's only you, Emily, for me after all. I was a fool to be tempted by that woman. I regret it. So please, give us another chance.
This is not a joke. I'm sick of being pushed around by Rob's self-serving words and actions. Don't say stupid things. What advantage do I have in getting back with a cheating fool like you? Your love for me ran out a long time ago. I didn't get divorced until now because you were persistent. Now, I'm truly alive.
Please, don't say that. I'm really reflecting on my actions.
I'm tired of hearing I'm reflecting and I won't cheat again. Your words are just lies. You have no credibility. Finally being with someone else, and I'm happy. Don't contact me again. Without waiting for Rob's reply, I hung up the phone and blocked his calls. Honestly, I felt relieved, thinking that everything was over. The subsequent discussions went through lawyers, and a month later, the marriage settlement was transferred from Rob and Lisa. Rob seems to have borrowed money from a loan shark, and now he seems to be working day and night in various odd jobs. Lisa, too, apparently took out a loan to repay a vehicle. Currently, she spends her days being pursued by debt collectors while working night jobs. With a marriage settlement from them and my own savings, I am currently enjoying a carefree life on my own. Having tea with my daughter, Sam, and friends is my daily joy.